Hi guys, if you just need one video to recommend a bang for your buck, damn near audiophile quality Bluetooth receiver, this is it. I'm guessing like me, you're into vintage amplifiers and turntables, or you have a hi-fi that still sounds great, but it's just lacking that Bluetooth connectivity, and you just want to stream music from your phone or Mac without all that long ass dangly cables everywhere, then you are in the right place. Let's jump right in. On one hand, you have a super compact Bluetooth receiver like this, which also, by the way, doubles up as a transmitter for only about 10 bucks. And then on the other hand, you have something like this for about 70 bucks. So now, is it really worth paying 7 times more for something like this? The answer for me is hell yes. So the thing is, you'd only be settling for something like this if you're strapped for cash, or if you need to fit this into a super tight space, like concealing this in your car setup. Or if you really don't care about music quality, perhaps you're just listening to podcasts or you're streaming audio from your calls, for example. Other than these reasons, you'd probably be sorely disappointed like I was. The music output from this device was really hollow, flat, and lifeless, which is why I'm returning it. Now, the exciting part. This thing right here, the sound that came out from my speakers were phenomenal. I've tested my usual go-to tracks and the soundstage was wide, the details were crisp, and the bass was tight and punchy as well. The dynamic range was awesome. In short, it sounds just as good as a wired output. Of course, if you're getting this receiver and the rest of your setup isn't quite up to par, you're gonna get a semi-crappy output and you'd get really pissed. So the definition of audiophile varies greatly on everyone's budget and expectations. So I think it's important to just share a quick overview of my setup to give you a sense of what great sounding audio means to me. I'm running a vintage 1971 Sansui 888, which is about 500 bucks in the market these days. They're pretty rare to come by. I think the whole Sansui line is really solid. If you do your research and learn more about vintage amplifiers, you'd definitely come across Sansui at some point. And this goes along with a pair of Monitor Audio Bronze BX2 speakers. If you're familiar with this, we are more or less aligned. If you have no idea, not to worry, it means that you're not really picky with audio or you're just starting out on your audio journey. You can gradually upgrade your amp and your speakers along the way. The most important thing is to get a Bluetooth receiver that's good enough to future-proof you for at least the next 5 years. So what you get out of the box are the cables. This is the RCA cable that goes into the analog out from here and into your amp. You also get the power cable, which comes with the USB adapter. You also get the RCA analog out with the 3.5 headphone jack, as well as the cable for the digital out. Now, how is this recommendation reliable? Well, I've discovered that brands aside and product design aside, there's only one thing that truly matters when it comes to determining the sound quality of a Bluetooth receiver, and it's all about the chips that they are using. Of course, the implementation of the chip within the device matters a lot too, but let's omit that for the sake of simplifying our comparison process. The first chip is the decoder chip, which transforms your digital input into an analog output. The ES9018K2M Sabre 32 DEC decoder chip. While this isn't the latest chip in the market and no longer considered cutting edge, the chip from ESS Technology was once considered to be the flagship DEC chip, which perhaps explains why its price point has become so affordable now. The ESS line is often described as detailed and analytical. The chip features a high dynamic range and ultra-low total harmonic distortion and supports up to 32-bit. You can look up the full specs online, but I'm sure you'll be happy to trust my judgment for benchmarking this as the bare minimum standard of good audio. And the second one is the Bluetooth chip that transmits the wireless audio. The CSR8675 is considered a premium tier Bluetooth audio solution from Qualcomm, delivering high fidelity wireless audio of up to 30 meters outdoors and 15 meters indoors. This chip supports AAC, aptX, aptX-LL, aptX HD, and LDAC decoding. So if you're using an Apple product, you'd be connecting via AAC, which is 16-bit or generally regarded as CD quality. And if you're using Android, you'll be pleased to enjoy the superior 24-bit LDAC connection for high-res audio. So what's the best Bluetooth receiver for you? I've actually compiled a list of options here. And if you pick any one of these Bluetooth receivers on this list, you won't go wrong. They all have an above average audio quality, and I would say pretty damn near audiophile, if not already audiophile. It really depends on your definition of what audiophile is and your expectations. And we're working around this budget range here. As you can see, they're all similarly priced. I've also made recommendations based on the Japan, US, and Singapore market, so you have more options depending on where you're located. Let's jump right in. First up in the list is the bluMe DS200 Pro, which is the product I've purchased and tested. It's powered by the ES9018K2M Sabre decoder chip, as well as the CSR8675 Bluetooth chip. It's coming in at a price of 10,539 yen in Japan, as well as $79.99 in the US. And once again, this is the benchmark product for the bare minimum audio quality that we are looking for. So number 2, we have the BluDento BLT-2, which is powered by a Texas Instrument decoder chip. And this chip, interestingly, is not necessarily inferior to the chip in the bluMe DS200 Pro. It really depends on the implementation of the chip within the device. So based on reviews and based on research, I'd say that it's close tie, and that's why I've listed it here in black. So if you are in Singapore, this would be your best bet. You should go for the BluDento because the bluMe DS200 Pro is only available in Japan and the US. You can ship it from the US if you really want it, but if you include the shipping cost, I'd say the BluDento is still the more affordable option. And if you're in the US, you'd probably notice that the BluDento BLT-2 is really closely priced with the bluMe DS200 Pro. They are both almost identical at about $79, so either one is really fine, I'd say. Third in the list is the Audiophile Zen Air Blue, which is using another chip from ESS as well, but I've listed it here in red because it's a supposedly slightly inferior chipset compared to the one that's used in bluMe DS200 Pro. However, when it comes to the Bluetooth chip, it actually has a superior chip to the rest, which is the QCC5100. The Audiophile Zen Air Blue also comes in a very interesting and distinct casing design. So if you fancy that design, maybe this is something for you. But looking at the price point here, I'd say I'd prioritize the decoder chip over the rest. The Bluetooth chip is actually superior to all the other Bluetooth chips in this list. But again, I'd prioritize the decoder chip because that would actually determine the sound quality the most. And here it comes in at $159 in Singapore and $99 in the US. And fourth in the list is the Auris bluMe HD, which is also a popular choice. It's using the same Texas Instrument decoder chip as the BluDento, so you can expect a very similar sound quality between these two Bluetooth receivers. The last one in the list, which is the Auris bluMe Pro, it's using significantly better chip. Again, it's from the ESS Sabre line, but this particular chip, the ES9028Q2M Sabre decoder chip, is a real significant step up to the one that's used in the bluMe DS200 Pro. Unless you're prepared to fork out that kind of money to level up in the audio quality, I'd say the best bet is to still stick to the bluMe DS200 Pro if you're in Japan or the US, or the BluDento BLT-2 if you're in Singapore. If you've been considering a Bluetooth receiver, I think it's a good time to get one because it's gonna actually give new life to your vintage amplifier, to your analog equipments. You know, it's really a nice feeling being able to stream stuff directly from your phone and your wireless device, your iPads, your tablets, your Mac, your PC, and get rid of all those irritating wires. Everything is wireless these days. I think this is the next step, upgrading, leveling up all your analog equipments. I've actually listed all the items that we've discussed in the caption below. So if you're considering any of those items, feel free to use the Amazon links below to check them out. If you purchase anything, you'd be actually helping this channel at no extra cost. It's a win-win for you and the channel. I really appreciate that. If you have any questions, just shoot it across the comments below. I'll be happy to answer and assist you. Do like and subscribe, of course, if you find this video useful. I sincerely appreciate that. A lot of effort has gone into creating videos like this. I'll be reviewing more products in the near future, so stay tuned and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.